Good morning. It's Wednesday. Made it to hump day. Make it after lunch. It's downhill slide to the weekend. Hope everyone's doing great today. Just wanted to throw my 2 cents in for something that came up with my son in his school yesterday. I had an interesting conversation. I had an interesting opportunity to talk to him about Jesus and how he handled things. So, long story short, my son's ROTC instructor seems to be calling him out inappropriately in class and making, inappropriate comments. Nothing bad. It's just he's calling him out about his grades in class when they shouldn't be doing that. And he's constantly saying, well, my son's at this time, my kids are way ahead of you when they were in school, and so on and so forth. Which, who cares? Your kids aren't even in school anymore, so shut up, guy. Anyway, I told him I was going to make an appointment and go talk to this ROTC instructor and get his side of things, because there's one side of things and then there's the other, and most of the time the truth is somewhere in the middle. And I want to see, both sides of the story. I'm not going to make judgment calls or decisions based solely on one side, specifically the 15-year-old kid's side, even though that is my son. And he just shakes his head. He kind of, oh, God, I'm going to get in trouble and things like that, because he's fearing a reprisal, which, I can understand. I can understand that. But I had the opportunity. I could have gone a totally different way with it, but I thought, hey, what would Jesus do? What did Jesus do? When Jesus was faced with a situation that seemed like he was going to get in trouble or called down or, I don't know, beaten to a bloody pulp and hung on a cross, he didn't back down. He didn't shy away from it. He stood up, he stood out, he spoke up, he spoke out, and he moved forward. He stood up to the laws, the rules in place that weren't right. He stood up to the people that weren't right. They were doing bad things or inappropriate things, whatever the case may be. And I think that's what our pastor at our church has been talking about. You need to stand up for what's right. You don't need to worry about what happens to you in the end, because God will take care of you. God will take care of you. And growing a spine, standing up, standing out, speaking out, those things are important. Because if we don't do those things, the way the country is going right now, it's only going to get worse. And it's our kids, it's our kids that need to learn these lessons. We need to learn them too. And we need to put those things in practice. But our kids need to learn it too. And I'm not talking about going and disrespecting someone and mouthing off. And let's be honest, from his own account, his mouth is what started the interaction. He had a little bit of a snarky comment or whatever when he just should have shut up and done what he was asked to do. I guess the teacher or the instructor had said, they just had a few minutes left in class. He said, you guys need to be doing some work. And my son said, well, I don't have any work to do right now. And the teacher's like, oh, yeah, well, that's not what your grades look like. It looks like you got plenty of work to be doing. Or something like that. Like I said, I wasn't there. So I got to set an appointment to meet this guy and see what he has to say about it. But I just thought it was interesting that, I could have and usually do go a completely different direction with these kind of conversations I have with my son. But, the Holy Spirit settled on me and said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to talk biblical. We're going to talk what Jesus did and what would Jesus do now in this particular situation. And I think it's kind of interesting, because I'm feeling very convicted here these days. Yesterday specifically, I feel the need to scour the interwebs and find stories that are attacking, well, not necessarily attacking, because that's a strong word, but putting into question, our Christian beliefs, our rights, not as Christians per se, but as people of the United States of America. We have the right to freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom of speech. And those rights for Christians are under attack. They really are. And I want to find stories, news stories, like actual halfway reliable news stories that talk about those kind of things. And I'm just going to comment on them. Some of them might be a little bit older, but if they're pertinent to what I'm talking about, I'm gonna drop my 2 cents worth. Anyway, hope everybody's got a great day. I think I've got another video going to be coming out today, because I saw 2 articles yesterday about Virginia that were interesting contradictions, in my opinion. Anyway, have a great one.